Welcome back to N's Notebook LM. Today, we are dusting off a truly bizarre and, honestly, forgotten piece of 19th century American satire. It's a novel all about a secret society of bachelors who've basically declared war on the entire institution of marriage. So, what happens when a group of men decides that love itself is the enemy? Well, let's find out.
So picture this, a charming resort town, Bella Vista, packed with eligible young men and women. But instead of a simple romance, what we get is a total battleground, a mess of love, honor, and just utter absurdity. We're about to dive into this forgotten American farce where the men believe they're on some noble quest to save women from their future husbands.
Okay, let's start with the brilliantly ridiculous idea that's right at the heart of our story. The Mystic Order of Seven Sweethearts. This wasn't just some guys' club, it was a crusade. Its founder, this incredibly pompous guy named M.T. Pate, was absolutely convinced that single women were way happier than married women, and that it was his solemn duty to stop them from ever tying the knot.
To justify a crusade like that, the men of Bella Vista had to come up with their own peculiar philosophy. And this was a philosophy where their arguments didn't justify common sense, but sometimes they defied the very laws of nature.
Okay, so take our main philosopher, Tony Belton. Now, he's a lawyer, so his argument should be grounded in logic, right? But instead, they completely defy physics. This quote just perfectly captures the satirical tone. I mean, these aren't just quirky bachelors. These are men who are willing to argue that a person can literally fall up out of a well, all just to win a point about love.
So, how does this peculiar worldview fare in the chaotic world of actual courtship? Well, as you might guess, it leads to some truly spectacular disasters.
The philosophers have this deeply cynical, almost paranoid view of romance. In their minds, a woman's affection isn't some gentle, sweet thing. Oh no, it's a cruel game played by a cat with a helpless mouse, and they see themselves as the poor little mice just being toyed with before the inevitable, soul-crushing end.
And here, right here, is the central contradiction of the whole story. Even though they believe women are these remorseless tormentors, these men are absolutely driven to perform the most absurd feats of devotion. They're composing endless sonnets, they're vowing to fetch icicles from the North Pole, all for the attention of the very women they claim are out to destroy them. And whenever misguided love isn't causing enough chaos on its own, don't worry. The town's ridiculous code of honor is more than happy to step in and make everything a whole lot worse.
All right, so let's meet Captain Bragg. He's a traveler who's famous for his unbelievable tall tales. And he gets furiously offended when another man, a Mr. Botts, assaults his pet monkey in a ballroom. Now, this isn't just any monkey. Bragg claims it was a royal gift from the Queen of Madagascar. And for this slight against his primate friend, Bragg demands satisfaction.
This one incident just shows how their code of honor spirals into absurdity. The insult isn't to a person, it's to a monkey. The challenge leads not to pistols but to broadaxes, which are defended with a straight face as weapons of chivalry. And the grand finale? It's not some dramatic showdown. It's a man falling into a well, and the big reveal that the dueling guns were just fake painted tubes. It's a perfect satire of how seriously people can take the silliest things.
But perhaps the ultimate expression of this town's twisted philosophy is this cruel, really elaborate prank that's played on any unsuspecting newcomer, or greenhorn as they call them.
This custom, known as running a greenhorn, was a truly terrifying ordeal, and it was designed purely for the amusement of the locals. Pate and Wiggins are led into the woods, they hear their friends being murdered, and they flee for their life into a night of absolute chaos. We're talking bee stings, beatings from angry farmers, and being abducted by what they think is the devil, which turns out to be just a cow. The humiliation is just total.
So, after all the fake duels, the elaborate pranks, and the romantic self-sabotage, what finally becomes of our funny philosophers and their grand experiment?
Well, in the end, reality comes crashing down. No amount of bizarre philosophy could protect them from their own foolishness. The founder, Patai, is publicly shamed and flees. The other members are disgraced, killed, or, and this is the ultimate irony, they abandon the cause for the very thing they swore to prevent: marriage. The Mystic Order just completely disintegrates under the weight of its own absurdity.
It's really a hilarious reminder that no matter what century it is, we're all susceptible to tying ourselves in knots for love and honor. And maybe, just maybe, a little bit of common sense is the most valuable philosophy of all.
If this topic has captured your interest and you'd like to dive deeper, the book is called The Funny Philosophers by George Yellot.